Hi and welcome to the latest episode of Pat's Procrastination, brought to you by the Pat's Propaganda YouTube channel. Please do not forget to be rating, reviewing and subscribing to said YouTube channel so you cannot miss an episode. We are coming to you early Monday morning, which is great because we don't normally come to you straight after the game. But here we are, week 8 versus the Jets, and we are bringing you our immediate-ish reactions, although I probably could have done a show last night, to be fair, with how my emotions were up and down. But still, we are here. It is Victory Monday, Chudders. How are things with you?
Hail, we are victorious. Long live the king. Oh, no, hang on. Dead.
Dude, come on, don't ruin it.
Wow. It's the pretzel we're in.
Seriously, you're going to do a wow. I mean, I get it. The Jets jetted.
I was pleased with the win.
Oh.
I was pleased with the win.
Oh, God, here we go.
But I'm worried about May.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's it.
But which is more important? And I'm not even talking about in terms of draft stock, because I'm not caring about that. I'm not worried about that.
You better not be doing about that.
The purpose. It's the well, as I've said for a long time, I was looking for development, and I don't like the fact that May's been taken out. And I fear short term he's probably going to miss next week. Long term, I hope this isn't a thing. And if he takes just slight knocks, because it wasn't even a massive knock to the head, but takes slight knocks, is this potentially something that's going to affect him? I hope not. I hope this is a one-off. I hope we never need to worry about this again. But I'm worried because our new franchise quarterback is down. That's more important to me than a win. And I can see it's not for you, but that's more important to me than a win. Now, what I'll also say is, for the people who thought, this is why you shouldn't play him, or you can't play him, whatever, it wasn't the O-line that got him killed. It wasn't bad receivers that got him killed. It was fairly unlucky because it was helmet to helmet, but it wasn't a dirty play. I didn't think it wasn't that bad. It was relatively innocuous as these plays go. I'd rather the Jets defender hadn't put that hit in, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't totally egregious. But I hope he recovered.
Penalty, I believe.
Oh, exactly. It didn't prompt anything. Well, to be fair,
you
watching it
live,
live,
should have, but
yeah, you could, if it had been given. Totally understand why. But even in watching it live, to be honest, it wasn't until a few minutes later, and they said, Brissett's coming in the game, because, and I hadn't even realised it had happened. So that's how little it had garnered my attention, to be fair. But so back to you then, Claire. All the positive happiness. Go on then. Tell us how you enjoyed the game.
As I say, let me just make a point of, when you said, I can see that doesn't bother you. It does bother me that he's out with an injury, and it's terrible that he's out with a concussion. But right now, as a Patriots fan, what can I do about that? So why focus on that? I've just got everything crossed that he's okay. Yeah, you're going to have the individuals now screaming, see, we shouldn't have brought him in. This is something that happens league-wide. It's a very unfortunate thing. Hopefully it was more of a helmet in the sensor in the helmet thing that they picked up on, so they took him out, more precaution. We do hope, and yeah, I hope he's back really soon. But I don't know what you want to. You just want me to focus on that and just be like, oh, okay, they won, and that's it. It's like,
no,
they won. They deserved the win. Yes, the Jets jetted, and it was effing amazing. I think I tweeted out how much I love Keon White for pancaking Rodgers. Now, I do want to preface that I do not wish them to injure him. I do not. I wish no injury to no player whatsoever, how much I detest the player, and I detest Aaron Rodgers. But, I was eating that up with the spoon. It was amazing. They won. I told you that they'd won. I'm now getting very close to you with the picks that we've got, because you predicted a loss. So this is very cool. I'm very, very happy with all this. Yeah, were there bad things? Hell yeah, there were bad things. Dude, our wide receiver room need to stop this and get some more of this, because their hands, that got me fired up significantly with how much they're mouthing off. You might want to get some more practice in then and buy yourself some new gloves. So yeah, that got me really vexed up. The best receivers we had were both tight ends on national tight ended today. Thank you very much. Love that. Loving it. I'm gonna lose my voice now. Excuse me. So yeah, I come away from this game super excited. I know that we rolled into the next game And they could easily lose again. I fully appreciate that. I fully appreciate how much they have to do. I fully appreciate our wide receivers kind of their hands suck at them. I could catch way better than them and
That's
stuff
cold,
like that. Caught cold. So yeah, I get it. I get that, and I really hate that you kind of threw that out there at the beginning. How it didn't bother me. I am really concerned about Drake May, but it's one of those things. What can I do? There's no point focusing on it. Like I said, what are you going to do? Not put him in again? Then is that it? Sort of thing. Even bless him, Tua is back. Because football's in their blood, and this is what happens, and it's not good. It's not good. I'm not saying it's good whatsoever. And it's unfortunate that we're in a situation in a sport like this, and more needs to be done. It does in regards to concussion and what happens, afterwards, once they've retired and things like that. But to focus on that today, no, sorry, focusing on this was cool. We beat the Jets. The Jets are jetting. We're not bottom of the league, of the division. Apologies. And yeah, I've got goods all over the place. And just quickly, whilst I do still have some voice, because as you can tell, I just want to do a quick shout out to any listeners who did comment on how my voice was starting to waver on Monday and have sent me really nice messages because of my God, it's just a cold, but I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, people. It was really nice to have some kind words because I've been feeling utterly lousy last week, as you can probably tell, because I haven't been on anything and stuff like that. I haven't been doing any work, that kind of thing. So apologies for the voice today. It is still going to be like this. And thank you very much for the kind words. But come on, Chudders, you've got to have some positivity. I get you're concerned about Drake May, but come on, dude, it's Victory Monday.
As you're losing your voice, I'll say a Claire phrase that she likes to utter of ifs and buts and candy nuts. If we'd have lost that game, I think the major thing we would have been talking about is drops and probably Drake May and worrying about his future. Now, that is not what happened. Yeah. They won the game. Yeah. So we can be pleased for the win. I think we're more pleased, less about what it necessarily means to the Patriots, but more that it just screws over and ends the Jets season, which is wonderful to watch. Absolutely wonderful to watch. For me, it was a mental pretzel, because you may have heard of the phrase that the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Which I don't like Rodgers. I don't like the Jets. I can't work out whether the Jets are destroying Rodgers or Rodgers destroying the Jets, or they're just destroying each other. But it's just wonderful to see.
Rodgers is destroying the Jets at this point, I believe.
I think so.
I think.
And Greg Zuerlein as well. I mean, you've got to say.
Oh, yes.
A lot
yeah.
Down to the fact that Zuerlein essentially took 5 points off the board there. And you've got to say that helps massively with those 5 points. The Jets are winning, but that's what happened.
May I interject? If you want to play that game, you could argue that, yes, if Zuerlein kicked better, the Jets would have had more points. However, if the Patriots wide receivers would have caught better, the Patriots could have had more points. If you want to play ifs and buts. So there you go. Going to get a lot of pushback on me.
We could have a major debate as to which Patriots have more control over and therefore is more effective, but we won't go down that path. So let's try and get back on track. Offense, good. I'll start then while you do a little jig. I'd say May at the beginning continued to look composed in the pocket. I thought he was effective with his legs. I did mention to you how much you must enjoy watching quarterbacks run using their legs. Until it took him out, and obviously that was the reason. Although he was going to ground, he'd given himself up, but he took a slight knock to the head, but it was enough to concuss him, sadly. Mm-hmm. I'd also say Henry seems to be the go-to guy.
Woohoo!
Which obviously is pleasing you on tight end day. And I would say that is the best we've seen Brissett since he pulled on the jersey again.
Hold on, you just took all the goods.
What, you were busy jigging and saying you can't talk. Go on then, Claire. Anything else you'd like to add? I just took all of them, even though you talked about tight ends earlier.
You just stole all of them, which is so typical.
You complain that I talk about negative things, then I talk about positive things, and you complain about that as well. What was mediocre? O-line. Didn't think they're amazing. Didn't think they were the reason that you nearly lost either. Is that better?
Really?
Well, I'm trying to appease you. So, any more good you'd like to add to the offense, Claire?
I'd like to add that I agree with you. Possibly Brissett's best game. He played this. I've got mad respect for this guy. He hasn't played great throughout the season so far, and he hasn't. But he plays like a warrior, and every time he's in there, he just. It's really moving to see a guy put his all in for the team, particularly a guy who knows he's the backup. He knows he's not necessarily, number one, because they're looking at developing Drake May and he's the franchise quarterback. So I can't have anything but respect, even if he hadn't have played very well. Yes, I'd have called him out if he hadn't have played well, but I still can't lose any respect for this guy. As a backup veteran quarterback, bringing him in was possibly one of the best things that they chose to do personally, and draft right, mate. But yeah, I want to throw in. You said that the O-line wasn't.
It's amazing how much one victory can plaster over everything that the rest of the season we can say how ineffective the Patriots offense has been. What we need to set out, we need to get May in. He then comes in as backup, does great, and now it was a brilliant signing, and he was immense.
No, hold on. I said he hasn't played great. If you listen to what I said prior to that, if you didn't bother zoning out, you actually listen to what I'm saying. I said that he hadn't played great, but how he plays like a warrior doesn't always come as a skill set, but I think he's a good signing because of that. Because I don't think you could have asked for more from a backup quarterback, from a veteran guy who hasn't got, he wasn't given top money because he hasn't got top skill set, I think. Yeah. Hunter, obviously, 6 targets for 5 receptions. Best receiver in the whole team. Love it. Hooper was an ish. He was kind of he had some and he had some not so. So yeah, I'm still completely in on my tight end room at the moment. You mentioned the O-line as meh. They played better, I believe, and I do want to give a shout out to Ben Brown because he's becoming one of my new favorite O-linemen. He's becoming one of
3 weeks.
Say again.
Getting a shout out every week now for 3 weeks. He's your binky.
Yeah, he's one of my guys because it was unfortunate that it was a fumble by Gibson, but Brown was like straight on it to recover the fumble. So I thought that was good. Hey, I'm giving him a shout out for being good. It's not like he's going to listen to the show and hear it or anything, but yeah. So that's probably it for the offense, but there's not much left of the offense in all fairness to pick out. But yeah, wide receivers, I could really complain about them all day, but I'm not going to. It's because we're going to move it straight on to the defense. So defense.
Whoa, cowgirl. That was the good of the offense. Is there any more bad you want to mention?
Wide receivers.
Fair. I would say that's fair. A lot of them gave up some key drops in key areas. Personally, I was surprised Baker didn't get any targets on offense. He was in there for kick return, but he didn't get any targets on offense. You would have thought with how poor the rest of the receivers have been, even on the day yesterday, let alone previous weeks, maybe he might have got a shot, but he sadly didn't. Hopefully that might be coming. I'm not saying he is going to be saviour, but considering the performance of the rest of the receivers, I would have liked to have seen him got a target as well.
But did he roll up to the game on time? I mean, that seems to be a problem that he has at the moment.
Okay. And for me, still poor. 25 design runs for 54 yards is not a great return. I wasn't that impressed with the run game. You could add on what the quarterback's got, and it makes those stats seem a little more productive. 111 with your feet, but that's not designed runs, really. I don't think there were any design runs for Set or May there. So 25 for 54, it's slightly better than last week. That was something like 12 for 20, but not much. Still, and against a Jets team as well that has been very, very poor against the run recently. So you can't even say it was against a good run defense. I mean, you got to say Stevenson got 2 touchdowns, but I don't know. I'm still hoping that running offense, and I think you're going to need it now with Brissett coming in, because although he came in and was the saviour, if he's playing next week and potentially even maybe a couple of weeks, depending on how quickly May can return. Going back to sort of the start of the season, first game against the Bengals, whatever, I think you're going to have to rely on the run game a bit more again. And I'm hoping that they can step back up again.
Completely. I'm not taking away from the negatives that you're pinpointing. I'm not saying that they're not there. I'm just trying to focus on some of the positives to enjoy it. And and hope that they can build upon it and not fall short with the negatives, because it's to be fair, if we was to say that some of the drops by the wide receiver had been catches, it would look even better. It would have looked an even different sort of game. So there's realization of what they can work on, and I think we're going to start a GoFundMe for some sticky gloves for the wide receivers, so it can bring it to. I'm not glossing over that there's still problems. I'm not saying that's it, they're a playoff team. Oh my word, that no, it's just I'm enjoying what was good about the game this time, because we have had games that it's been really difficult to pinpoint. So I just want to celebrate the goods, and I'm feeling very chirpy for now anyway. I'm sure if anybody hits me up in about an hour, I'll be done, because that'll be it for today, in all fairness, but still.
So defense, what was good? What did you enjoy? You go first.
I think Christian Ellis. Now, I haven't analysed everything, but I think he's a bit of a baller. I think we've got a bit of a... I did say I hadn't analysed everything, so there may have been issues that he had that I missed, and I fully will hold my hands up to that. But no, I think he played really well, and it's one of those bringing up through the ranks the defence, because I know that there's been, they're missing some significant pieces. So, yeah. He'd be on my good list if you want to do like a good list sort of thing. And I think Gonzalez, although wasn't, earth-shatteringly amazing, he did good coverage. He had good coverage on Davante Adams. He had good coverage on a guy who's one of the top receivers in the league. So I was never not in on him anyway, but I know he's had some shade thrown at him, and I think he's developing well. And I think that the more that the pieces around him are stronger and stuff like this, and when they don't keep losing individuals, I just think the more that he can grow within that too. So the defense was better, not amazing, as you said. There's still issues. They're still missing significant pieces, which is difficult. But they had some run defense this time, because it kind of felt like they had none recently. They had a little. So I just hope that the defense can keep with their strength. But I can see that you significantly disagree, so please do tell us all the negatives, Chudders.
Well, I did have that the run defense was better than last week.
Yeah,
but it's still not amazing. You were still giving up 4 yards a carry, so it's improved on the solid depth that it was previously, but it's still not back to where you'd say it was in any shape good in my mind. Really, it's just better than it was. I agree on Gonzo. I think he had generally a good game. He did give up the PI on third down to Davante Adams in the first quarter. I think that one of the two penalties on third down that cost the Patriots the touchdown, that was disappointing. But generally, I would say, and again, if you look at stat lines or whatever, then it looks good. I think he did have tight coverage to one of the best receivers in the game. I agree with you on that. I thought White was more effective. His stat line isn't phenomenal, but I think he's getting more disciplined. It was said early on in the season how he was just like a bull. He was just charging. He was often running past the quarterback or missing, not containing the edge. I think he's starting to look a bit more disciplined now, which is being more effective. So I did think that was good. Those were my goods for the defense. Did you have some negatives? What were your bads? Or are you just all positive?
No, I'm just going positive today. No, I agree with. There's still the problems that there has been for the last 7 weeks prior. There's still, or maybe 6, because I don't know if you can class the Cincy game really. There's still the problems. I'm not, like I said to you on specifics, I'm not glossing over the problems. I know that they're still there. I'm just enjoying the positives today. That's all it is, really. I know that, like I said, I know the wide receivers sucked and need slapping. I know that the run defense isn't great. It was just better. I know that there's still pieces missing that they need. I fully appreciate, understand, respect all the logic of it. It's just today I'm having a day.
So I thought penalties were going to cost the Patriots when we were losing with a few minutes. I thought our discussion today, defense was going to be more around penalties costing you the game. Disappointment that side. I thought the D line was slightly better, although I think that's slightly masked by the fact that it just looks like Rodgers can't move. So he would often sort of sit in a pocket, and it wasn't for an eternity, but he'd just sit in the pocket, few seconds, find this guy, hit him, and it didn't look like the equivalent. You watch the Patriots, and it looks like May's got to run around to even, or Brissett's got to run around to even get time to be able to make a play downfield because the O line's not so great. So it looked like the Patriots were containing that pocket, but they weren't necessarily getting in to get the hits on Rodgers as much, like you say, until Ellis flattened him, and we all loved watching that happen. And they went backwards in the red zone.
Let me just interject, because I think part of it for me in regards to the defense is not focusing enough, because I am cheering so much for flatten him, sack him, that I'm not paying enough attention to the D-line and stuff like that. I'm just watching, waiting for them, hoping that they will flatten him. So, I will take that as that's my bad. I should have been analysing more, but I was enjoying it. I'm a fan. I'm not an analyst. So
one point for you. It's something you can work on in the week, get your reps in, and then come next week you can really start execution. Yeah.
But I'm a fan. I'm not an analyst. So no.
So special teams. Do you want to go?
No.
Well, let's good.
Ish and not ish. Ish and not ish.
I thought there was one kick that stood out to me where I thought Barringer out-kicked his coverage again, and 40-yard return. There was one in the third quarter where I thought that the returner had good 25 yards of space. There wasn't anyone near him by the time he caught the ball. But that, again, that wasn't really the reason you were going to win or lose a game. Well, win, I suppose you could say, from Jones's return that helped set up the field position. The biggest thing on special teams is Zerline missing kicks, and that wasn't. Can't really put that down to Pats because it's not like they blocked them pressure or anything. It was bad execution by the Jets more than it was good from the Patriots. But you would say special teams had a deciding factor in this game.
I think the one kick that was good was towards the very end of the game, the very, very end of the game when the Patriots were winning, and Barringer punted and he went completely out of the end zone, and it was like he needed to put the ball there. It was a key moment that needed to go out because they needed to not have any ability to return it, because it was towards the end of the game, and obviously they were only up however many points, 3 points. So a touchdown would have won it for the Jets. So he did great placement then by putting it out of the end zone. So kudos for that, but that's his job. So special teams. And the worst thing is the Patriots are supposed to be good on special teams. This is a frustrating thing, I think. They're supposed to be good on special teams. However, Sly was all right. We got our field goals and extra points and things like that. So
and he didn't have to try and do any tackling this week either, Barringer.
So. No, that was good. He needs to work on that a little bit. Bless him. We'll get Sly helping him.
So I've got a question for you then.
Okay.
Were the Patriots soft, Claire?
Were they soft? No, I think they played. No.
I agree. I think they played tough. I think they looked like a team that came out more fired up.
Yeah.
More energy, more aggression, more discipline, more fight in them. Now, what I would say, obviously they won the game, but the end product I didn't think was like miles better. It's not like, oh, well, this meant they came out and they were moving the ball down the field at will, or they were stopping the Jets 3 and out every game. Like, it didn't massively result in an incremental end product, but it was a better attitude on the field. I thought it was much better, and it was more fight from the team, and ultimately you could say that is what contributed to a win. But I would agree, the Patriots did not look soft. So on tight ends, have you covered all the tight ended you wanted to for the game? Even Conklin, I thought, to be fair to him, Conklin on tight ends day, that was a great catch in the end zone, one-handed, when he was going to get walloped.
I watched a bit of
that was a good catch from him.
I watched some of Red Zone when I was watching the game, not so much afterwards, a little bit. And I think the tight ends really had a day yesterday. They really celebrated. I think even Laporta, who obviously I think is fantastic, hasn't been scoring lately. And he was up, and Detroit. I think Detroit got more than a 50 burger yesterday. They did really well. I watched a little bit of the Cincy game. I saw an amazing catch by Gesicki and wondered why the heck that didn't have to happen when he was on our team. Oh my gosh! So yeah, I think the tight ends in general had a day, and it's lovely. It's great. I love the tight ends. It's great that they have a day. I know it's fun. It's commercial. It's just, it's that kind of thing. But yeah, totally repping, and Hunter and even Hooper mostly, really, stepped up because the wide receivers really weren't performing well. So yeah, very happy. Good tight endage day. Love it. Totally love it. Thus rocking the t-shirt today. So if you want this t-shirt, by the way, folks, sorry, just before you can talk, if you do wish to get your hands on a tight endage or I like tight ends and I cannot lie design, exclusive to Pat's Propaganda from myself. So do head over to patspropaganda.com and you want to click on the prop shop and scroll down and you will find the 28-3, obviously, by the infamous Deuce. But a little bit further down, you will find your tight endage t-shirts. So go and treat yourself if you so wish to. Sorry, apologies. Continue.
Well, I was going to add, is there any more on the game you wanted to mention?
Mm-mm.
So the only other thing, which isn't necessarily the game itself, but I think it could be taken from the game,
right,
was Jay was an inactive, healthy scratch.
Yeah.
And the likelihood is that he's probably about to get traded. What were your thoughts on that? As I asked that one time as you're taking a drink.
It's okay. I always hate it when they do trade away, and that's just from the continuity of he's a Patriot, so I'm a fan of him regardless sort of thing. I don't know if he's been doing that much. I am concerned that it is creating yet another hole on defense if they do trade him away, but I fully appreciate that they're looking to the future as well, because the more draft picks, the more that they'll have to trade around or to, select. So for me, it's like, it is what it is. I'm concerned with it leaving a hole on defense, what that could do. From the experience of what we've had, maybe it'll be okay, maybe not so much. But that's just the small concern that I'll have. But it is what it is. It's going to happen because it's. We think, I'll say it's guaranteed, obviously, but him being a healthy scratch, he's a massive flag of keeping him healthy to trade him. So, and I think they only extended him on a 1-year contract or something. He's on a 1-year deal. He's not on anything significant. They didn't really give him something that would indicate that they were going to keep him around for a long time anyway. So yeah, I think he's possibly going to be some collateral for the trade, but I don't know. How about you? You have thoughts?
Well, no, I agree. I mean, you're not going to get much for him because it'll be only this 1 year. I think it echoes to he was a useful piece when they didn't retain Judon, but he's not been a massively effective one. And they probably thought, you know what, even if it's not ridiculous money, we don't really want to pay him next year. He's not something we want to be building around. He's complimentary, but let's try and rebuild. Let's go something for new. You'd like to think Keon White is going to be one corner piece on the defensive end. Probably Uche isn't the other one on the other side that's going to be the attacking force going forward. So let's go for a pick and see what we can do rebuilding a new roster. You're not going to get much for him, but okay, there we go. It's time to move on from him. It hits home again because they're now starting to stack up these draft picks. They have to hit in the draft.
Yeah.
They have to hit draft. The likelihood,
Yes.
wonderful as it was to beat the Jets, the likelihood is you're gonna be picking the top 10, probably lower than that. Even if we're not bad from here on, you're still not a great team in the league. So you're going to have a high draft pick to start with, whether that is a left tackle or whichever direction they go. You'd like to think, okay, the first pick is going to be very good, but it's the subsequent picks after that. You have to be picking up 2-3 contributors at the moment. I think they got up to 10 picks. You have to be hitting on sort of 3 of those picks, I think, at least. And it could be your 7th round guy that you just happen to hit on a interior lineman that works, but you have to be hitting on that draft. You don't look impressed with that.
Just because it's week 8 and draft is, I just want to. We enjoyed the win
at all, and they're moving on from a player that they're saying they're not wanting to retain. Yeah. That's why this isn't me looking at the record and already looking at the draft board. It's just commenting on a move that they're likely to make in the next week, madam.
Okay, sure. On to the Titans.
No.
Oh, underrated player. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I forgot again. I'm going to have to start leaving myself a note.
I'm going to give it to Brissett because he came in like a warrior, someone said. I mean, that pass where he just stood there and took it in the face was heroic. It was brilliant to see him come back. Like you say, I think there's a lot of warmth and love for that although he wasn't performing great this season, he came in and did a job. And he came in today and did a job, showed the best that he's shown. It looked like he clearly had a bit of fight in him to prove, you know what, I know that I haven't been the best to start the season, but I can be better than that. And he came in and showed it. Now, he's probably going to be starting next week. I'm not as confident we're going to come out. We'll get onto the Titans that are bad themselves. But for this game, for what you needed coming in, he did the job. So he's going to get it.
Very good. I agree. Nice one. Okay. Titans.
So they're coming off a big loss to the Lions.
Yeah.
This is a tough one because it's 2 bad teams. As wonderful as it was to win, the Patriots are still not a good football team. Because the Jets are bad as well, and you've only just beat them. So let's not pretend that there's something heroic now. But the Titans are one of the few teams that are worse than you at the moment. So I've gone for a 13-10 win because I'm not expecting Brissett to move the ball down the field very much. I'm hoping the Titans aren't going too much either. It could be a busy day for Barringer. We shall see. But I'm going for a tight win.
21-15 Patriots.
21-15. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting scores there. Is that 3 touchdowns then? For the Pats?
For the Patriots, yeah. Hunter, baby. Hunter.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. So are you, I said at the top of the show, and I didn't realize, are you keeping a track of our predictions and what the scores are then? Who's winning those?
Yes.
So go on then, give us a rundown. Who's right, who's wrong? Because I'm sure you pick a win every week, and considering we're the 2-6. 2-6. Yes. I must be better than that, surely.
No, I'm 2, you're 3.
Have I only predicted 3? Right, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Because you predicted a win against the Finns, but they actually lost.
I predicted a loss in Bengals and they won.
Yeah. You predicted loss, win, loss, win, loss.
More sandwich bets at some point. 6.5 wins. I think I'm still quite confident of winning that one at the moment. If you suspect, I do think. Actually, I can't say this because the Finns and the Jets have been so bad. Because we've got that if the Pats draft a quarterback, they finish second in the division. They could do that with 3 wins, which I don't think was the intention when you first picked that. But
does it matter? I will win a sandwich.
And yeah, you already owe me for Daniels being drafted in the top 4. Massive, awesome. Thank you very much, Claire.
Let's wrap it up.
Go on, you can wrap it up.
So let's wrap it up and give everybody them Victory Monday back. So, folks, that is it. A 25-22 win against the New Jersey Jets. I'm going to celebrate. I hope you guys are too. Join us next week for week 9 against the Titans. Check the socials for when that hits your YouTube. Or why don't you subscribe to the Pat's Propaganda YouTube channel so you never have to worry about missing an episode of this. So tune in next time, folks. From Clazzy Clare and Chudders, as always, go Pats.
LFG.